I wanna be a billionaire. I ain't getting no sleep till I see a milli every week. I wanna be a billionaire. I ain't getting no sleep till I see a billy every week. I wanna be a billionaire. Billionaire. I wanna be a billionaire. Billionaire. I wanna be.
Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Welcome to another episode of Sleep is for Billionaires, the podcast. I am your host, Jonni Vegaz. Now today, I got a very, very, very special guest on my show, ladies and gentlemen. You're in for a treat, so take some notes. This man is a legend in the R&B world. I'm telling you, he's been with the music group Midnight Star. He has his own projects out right now. He got the challenge sweeping the nation called Sabrina. The Sabrina Beat Challenge is going ham right now. So you guys get in tune with the record. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce Mr. Reggie Calloway. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, Jonni Vegaz. Good to be here with you, my brother.
Always a pleasure, man. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I haven't talked to you in forever. It's been, what, 24 hours?
Well, it's the first time we get to see each other's face. So,
right. You know, especially since you live across the street. I think I see you. Oh, man. So it's good to have you on the show finally. You know, I definitely want to bring you in because, you know, again, this show is about getting insider information from celebrities and entrepreneurs on how to become an industry professional. And you being a legendary musician, you know, you kind of lived a lot of people's dreams. But what I like about you even more is that you're still going. You know, a lot of people, you know, put a limit on their success or a cap, or I'm just going to do this for 3 years or whatever and then do something else. But you stood the test of time and you still going hard, man. I mean, how do you feel at this point, you know, after all the accolades you received and still wanting to continue to create and be successful in this business of yours?
You know, it's a challenge between keeping yourself pumped up and looking at your accomplishments and, you know, pat yourself on the back. But it's also that challenge to be ever humble because the accomplishments that I've made compared to, you know, people that I look up to, I feel like I haven't done much at all. When I look at Quincy Jones, I'm like, I gotta get up awful early to mess with Quincy Jones, or to, you know, like my dear friend Eddie Levert of the OJs, my big brother, I call him. You know, Eddie taught me that, you know, you got to ride the waves, man. There's gonna be ups, there's gonna be downs, but if you're gonna be a lifer, then you just roll through. So we're stepping every day to get to, you know, the perfection of just being a better person and doing our thing, working our craft, and touching more people. We haven't touched the whole world yet. Ironically, they just sent 2 of our songs into outer space. So we're doing pretty good. Yeah, we had the Freakazoid and I Want to Be Rich were sent to outer space and broadcast, you know, throughout the universe. So now we're getting there, right?
Right. I was gonna say, wait a minute. Let's bring that back a little bit, because you just kind of said that so loosely. Like, yeah, it's in outer space somewhere. How is that even possible?
Yeah, I got a call from one of my associates at Sound Royalties, and she has all these great contacts. And she says a friend of mine, they're doing a space mission, and you know they're collecting songs to broadcast and to take on this ship. You know, would you like to have some of your songs, you know, out there, send over the MP3? And I got the certificate and everything to prove it that they all came back, and the mission was a success. So this is just it's incredible. I mean, it never stops in terms of the amazement of what music can do. You know, you touch the world, and now we want to touch the universe. So I thought the Freakazoid would be the first song to go, because that's our outer space song.
Yeah, exactly. That song was out of here. That's cool, man. Let me ask you, I mean, do you still love music, or as far, you know, as much as you did in the beginning?
You know, that's really funny because I definitely love music, but my love tends to be what I love. You know, it's like certain songs represent certain times in your life, and you know, you're searching for that feeling all the time. You know, certain songs like Smokey Robinson's "Tracks of My Tears," when he wrote "Like a snowball rolling down the side of a snow-covered hill." Then I said, "Oh, I want to be a songwriter." You know, that's poetry and imagery, you know, in the greatest standpoint. Mm-hmm. And then there's certain songs like Stravinsky's "The Rite of Spring" that just got me through college. It just relaxed me, and just whenever I needed to just chill, I could put on this amazing music recorded by Hubert Laws, a great legendary jazz flute player, jazz and classical, of course, but one of my flute idols. When I play flute, I call myself a ghetto flute player because Hubert Laws is a serious master of many styles. But at the same time, when you create your own vibe, nobody can play like you. Like he can't play like me, well, because it's not me. But my flute is a funky ghetto flute, so he had to lower his standards to get into that groove. Even with Quincy Jones, we talked about Quincy Jones. Idolizing him as a producer and an arranger. But Quincy Jones wrote that the one thing he would like to learn how to do is write songs. And that's the one thing I do that he doesn't necessarily do. So, we're all our own individual people. So when you find out what who you are, doesn't mean you can only do one thing. It just means that, hey, this one or two things you do are very, very special, because it's your voice. If you're a singer, you're not trying to sing like Teddy Pendergrass. You shouldn't be. You're not trying to sing like Luther Vandross. You shouldn't be. You want to be as good as them in a certain kind of way, but you could never out-sing Teddy at being Teddy. And I've heard people say that, I'm as good as Teddy Pendergrass. Like, no, Teddy can just talk and blow you off the stage. So let alone sing.
Yeah. Right. No, I hear you, man. Yeah, it's funny how, it's funny that you mentioned that. I was scrolling through Instagram, and rest in peace to Pop Smoke. He was a young rapper, man, very talented, about 20 years old. He got murdered out here in Los Angeles, but he had a promising career. But going to wanting to sound like the greats, there was this newcoming artist. I was scrolling, and he sounded completely like the late Pop Smoke, as the cadence, the voice, the type of beats that he rapped off. So in my mind, I'm thinking, why would you want to be the next Pop Smoke? Why not be the first you?
Yes. But imitation is
best form of flattery.
But I always was taught, and I always teach people to pick your favorite 3 to 5 in whatever area that you want to pursue, and study them, emulate them, copy them, learn everything about them. But when you put them all together, that 5 becomes 1, and then your you personifies it to even the next level. So if you just copy one person, then you're going to get stuck. You're going to always be that imitation. But for me, Teddy Pendergrass, Luther Vandross, Marvin Gaye, Smokey Robinson, so I got my list, and that's just in R&B. Then you got to go to jazz with Nat King Cole and people like that. So when you have a lot of favorites, then it tends to turn into you after a while if you allow yourself to breathe through it and to get into it.
Gotcha. No, I totally agree, 100%. Let me ask you, what do you want people to take away most from your journey or your legacy? You know what I'm saying? What do you want them to learn from you the most?
I think one of the things is to be a leader. If you're a leader, and if you're a follower, be an awesome follower. If you're that second man or whatever, you're that backbone. Be awesome at that. And if you're a leader, step up. A lot of leaders can tend to complain about this, not this way, I can't do it that way. But if you're a leader, you create a new way. You find a path, you make it happen. You bring people along with you. You bring that number 2, that number 3, and you make them stronger. Just like Michael Jordan did with the Chicago Bulls, you make your team better. So I like to be a leader, to help progress this movement of life and this movement of music, but also to be a great follower that supports all the organizations that I belong to, from NARAS to the Grammy Awards to the California Copyright Conference. I'm on the board of directors there. I'm on the board of directors for IFAR, dealing in neighboring rights around the world. Board of directors of the Funk Hall of Fame. So these things are, and on the board of directors for the American Archives of African American History at Indiana University. So being an educator and being a supporter and being someone that's building these things up, but also trying to lead it to the next path, the next generation.
That's amazing, man. And we're not just gonna disregard those plaques behind you right there, looking just all spiffy in the background. I love it, man.
Put a little light on them.
I see you got the light right on them so we can see him. That's amazing, man. Oh man, I love it. I love it. So I know when we spoke offline, you know, you had a lot of new up and coming projects, you know, catered to educating the future generation of musicians. Can you talk to us a little bit about those new up and coming projects and the purpose of their of their being?
Yeah, well, I've always done that in terms of back in Cincinnati, our music seminars and songwriting seminars and workshops, and because I came from a time when there were talent shows and a time when there were nightclubs that would let a 15-year-old perform, with grown people and make music, and that was taken away and changed. So we've always been fighting to create these opportunities, as well as our mother was so instrumental in supporting us in all those activities, and we've been even giving away scholarships from our Midnight Star days to different students. And that just carries on. But right now we're in a whole different atmosphere to where you don't have to be in that city. We can do things online. New opportunities are opening up. YouTube, Zoom, lots of different ways to reach people. And now the brand new Clubhouse, and it's always changing every day. So taking and embracing the modern day market, we take some of these same concepts and now not only reach the people in your city, but reach people all around the world, through these projects. So one is to continue to educate, teach people about, or should I say, share with them the behind the scenes of the music industry, the things that people, that's not in the books necessarily, and no one wants you to almost know, but they need to be said. And the more artists that are prepared and weaponized with this knowledge, they can protect themselves and protect their longevity. So looking at ways to create that course, or that school, the design, and trying to share things now while we're here, as opposed to waiting till we're gone and you're trying to do it. But another thing is a book on the art of songwriting that'll be coming out very soon. That's one method, turning that book into a course. And as we talked about offline, creating courses that would give people that knowledge, that support, knowing that they're not alone, that everybody's dealing with similar situations, and that's empowering.
Right. No, I agree 100%. I think that course is going to be so valuable, especially coming from a legend like you. I'm sure you've been through all the ups and downs that the industry has to offer, I'm sure. Can you highlight any of the potential pitfalls that artists should look out for, getting into the music industry at this time, at this day and age?
Yeah, well, we've paid some dues, of course. The ups and downs, we were protected against a lot of them. My mother, Gloria Larson, who was also co-manager with Midnight Star, being with me, of course, from my birth, and through every band I was ever in, she was always able to instill wisdom and knowledge, because she came from the business side of the school, and she was a business owner as well. But one of the basic things is, when you do that first contract, never do a music contract without a music entertainment lawyer. A lot of people think, my cousin's a lawyer and he'll do it for me for free. And
right. You don't want to get a personal injury attorney.
Yeah, look at you. You'll have personal injuries if you get a personal injury attorney. Yeah, because the nuances of the contracts are geared towards common practices of the time, and they change over time. I mean, not many years ago, there was no digital performance, right? So I was looking at a contract the other day, and the whole digital aspect wasn't in the contract, letting me know that he had some old contract that you're trying to resurface, whereas things are changing every day. I mean, there's new organizations and new forms of income streams that have to be put into these contracts. For example, Sound Exchange, barely 10 years old, and now it's an integral part of a recording contract to make sure that you're getting your Sound Exchange money, and to make sure, if you're a producer, that now you have a means of getting paid through this new entity that did not exist. So yeah, get a entertainment attorney to review your contract. Part of that knowledge is, I'll give you number two, is if you're a songwriter, understand that you're also a publisher. People don't know oftentimes that the publisher is the one who owns the song and controls the song. It's not the songwriter. But as you write the song, you are the publisher. But you can give it away, you can sell it, or you can have it stolen from you just by not putting your name on the paperwork, and having it turned in. My very first record, we didn't know what a publishing company was. We're college students. We should have known, but nobody's telling you about that. So the guy that was helping us make the record, he said, "You don't worry about the publishing company. We just run it through my publishing company." That's code for I'm going to get half the money and I'm going to control the song. We're like, wait a minute, we better look this up. That doesn't sound right.
Right.
But in the old days, the publisher was this smart building or business that could do more with your song than you could do with it.
Right.
So they wanted to own half of it for that knowledge. And a part of that knowledge is true, but you have to know what you're giving up and what you're dealing with, because you can sign your life away to somebody who knows nothing, has no contacts, or you could be dealing with one of the major companies and you decide what piece of the action you're going to pass on.
Gotcha, man. No, yeah, I definitely appreciate that information, man. I had to learn it myself, when I was, buying beats from random producers. I didn't know what the difference between buying a lease beat or exclusive rights, let alone publishing. So, over time, I got to learn, that information, and, bought my own company, my own publishing company through BMI. So now I own my publishing through through that performance rights organization, and they pay me the royalties and stuff like that. So yeah, it's always valuable to learn. I actually read a book called Everything There Is to Know About the Music Business by Donald Passman. And, it gave me a lot of insightful information on that. So guys, if you're tuning in, make sure you get that book from Mr. Donald Passman. It's a great book.
And he's still active as a music attorney, represents one of my dear friends. Not to mention everybody else he represents, but yeah, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power.
Definitely, man. Okay. So you got the song Sabrina out. You know what I'm saying? First of all, who inspired that song? Who is this Sabrina?
Well, Sabrina is the mother of two of my children, and my former wife. But in creating the song, I'm a big fan of Sade. And I had this idea of, creating sort of a male Sade.
She wrote a song about me, right? Smooth Operator.
There you go. Right. So that kind of hypnotic international groove. And once I laid the baseline for that groove, then it was a matter of, okay, what I'm going to talk about? What am I going to write? And it felt like it should be about a lady. And Sabrina was the first thing to come into mind, but I said, okay, I'm going to try some other things. I'm going to try this name, that name, this name. But it always came back to Sabrina, the way it married itself to the track, the essence of it. And even when I hear the guys doing the challenge, when they hit that name, that word, it's like, why is that so magical? And it just is, because in songwriting, I deal with the syllables. Certain syllables have a sensuous feel to them. Certain syllables roll off your lip. Certain syllables lead to the next word. The way that you slur them together, it creates a vibe. A staccato creates one kind of vibe, which, hip hop rap is more of a staccato, dot, 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 dot. And then you have other things where Marvin Gaye is just flowing. So when you put those all together and you put words to it, it's magic. So the name Sabrina stuck. Now was about the story. I knew I wanted it to be a romantic fantasy, not dealing in everyday life, but a story that rode along this camel ride, through the desert, just my imagination just going crazy. And it ended up being about a balladist singer, which could be considered me, who meets a princess queen, which is Sabrina, but she's young. They're both young, and but because he's a balladist singer traveling around the world, taking ship after ship after ship, different countries and different lands to spread love and music. You know, he has to leave, and they don't meet up again until well, the video tells the story. They meet up again many years later at an international event. So you have to see the video on YouTube, Sabrina video, and take that ride with us.
Did Sabrina, your ex, hear the song?
Yes.
Awesome. What was her thoughts?
She always said that it's not. Said, when are you gonna write a song about me? That's not about me. I had to explain to her. I said all the songs I've written probably been about you, but this one in particular is a fantasy. It's based off of reality, but it's twisted just enough to make it an international story, as opposed to just a one-on-one story. And after a while, she got it. She understood, the symbolisms and the difference between the meeting across the table as we met, or meeting in an African village, as the song talks about, or as falling in love at first sight, which when I first met her, it was like, "What's your phone number?" It was a rap. That's all. It's all in the song. And then having to go on the road. Most of my life has been on the road as an entertainer, so that part is very real as well. In terms of you have to go to do your job. If you're a doctor and it's 4:00 in the morning and there's emergency surgery, you got to go. If you're a police officer or a soldier and there's something going down, you have to go. So with songwriters and entertainers, we have to go and do that.
I got you. No, that's what's up, man. If you don't mind me asking, what happened between you guys? Because when I hear the words to the song, like me and my girl was jamming to it last night. She loves that record. She actually busted in the bathroom while I was playing it. She was like, "Who is this Sabrina?" And I was like, "That's the song."
You want to be able to tell her, huh?
Right. But yeah, man. But I could hear the words and the way you singing it, man. And it feels like you still love her. So I just wanted to know what happened, man. Where did it go?
I think there's always love for people that are in your lives, especially her being the mother of two of my children. She's family, so right. It's love forever, family love forever. But as a relationship, you go through stuff. Sometimes you can weather it, and sometimes you're better to be more distant. And I think it worked out that way for us. We're like definitely great best friends now, and like I say, family. So there's nothing but love there. Being in love, with the idea of being in love is a great power. Believing in love. We wrote that song also for Teddy Pendergrass, "Believe in Love." Remember that? But yeah, so I think you meet certain people in your lives, and you're looking always for that perfect love, but love itself is perfect. But love is an action. It's not just a noun. It means you have to love every day and make choices that are based around that love, as opposed to just being emotionally, craving something. You're actually giving something. You're giving time. You're giving energy. And I think, one of the biggest things is just growing together, growing at a similar time. But, for me, I take my blame. I had a lot of growing to do from being an artist. We're into our work. We're very, very young at heart. We can be irresponsible, so growing, I'm a much better person today for a lady than I was, in my younger days. You hopefully grow.
Right. Nah, I hear you, man. I kind of miss the love in the air, like in the early 90s. That's my era. I was born 1985, but I didn't fall in love with music until I was like in maybe 93, 94. And then that's when I started really kind of hearing the music and knowing what these songs meant and how they made people feel. And when that R&B was in the air, it was love everywhere, and it was okay to be in love, and love was at the forefront. It wasn't guys now, calling women bitches and pimping hoes and all. I mean, there was some of that, and some of that's even okay, I guess, you know what I mean? But it's just, I felt like, I guess maybe in the late 2000s, early 2010s, it kind of lost, and then it became something else. So it took the R&B and the love out of the equation as far as it being in the air. So you don't see it anymore now. Do you think that will ever come back? You know, because people usually say music goes in cycles. You know, if one thing is hot for a while, then the next thing comes, and the next thing comes, and it goes right back to the originality. So do you think R&B and having the love in the forefront of music will ever come back to the forefront of just this music industry as a whole and the sound?
I think it will. I was so amazed. You know, you and I were in a clubhouse with 10K.
10K in the morning.
Throwing him a shout out, and it was just amazing to when they played Sabrina in the room. Even though we couldn't see anybody's faces, the voices and the expressions were as like, this is something fresh. This was like, we don't get this. It was almost like we never heard this before, you know.
Right.
it's you know it's old for us, but it's so brand new for them, and they just embraced it. And then when you hear people reinterpret it, you get a whole nother vibe, which is what the challenge is so fun about. You know, we get to talk about that. Everybody gets to flip it a different way because it goes through stages, but the stage is coming back around to where we're getting back to melody. Because, you know, you can use any beat, but it's the melody and the lyric that holds.
Yeah, I was gonna say the melody and the substance.
Yeah, because you could take a great melody. I mean, even a lot of hip hop songs that sample great melodies, you know, that's another evidence that even though you have this rap going on, then also this classic melody comes in, and it sticks even harder to you. It's like glue. But Berry Gordy always said that, Berry Gordy of Motown always said that music goes in 20-year cycles. And when you've been around long enough, you find that to be true. So a new cycle is coming back. What happened was, when rap and hip hop came on so strong, you know, and the guys wanted to be macho, they didn't want to be, you know, they rejected the 90s singers and they rejected, you know, us from the 80s and the 70s, and you know, everybody wanted to emulate what was getting fresh, you know, coming from the street level. Then we always had a saying that the next Luther Vandross was rapping. He wasn't trying to sing. He was trying to rap. You know what I'm saying? This guy's got this incredible gift, but he just threw it aside because something else he was looking for. So I think now, you know, singing is coming back. But what has to match that is the song, is the songwriting. And that's why I'm writing the book about songwriting. It's around the 20 mistakes that most songwriters make. Is the sort of the subtitle.
No, I can't wait to read that book, you know, because I hear a lot of songs and I can always, you know, me being in music and, you know, kind of practicing on my own songs as far as arranging it and, you know, things like that. You know, a lot of people don't even know what arranging a song entails. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of bringing that, shining the light on the little steps in between when it comes to professionally writing a song. I think it's great. And I think it's valuable information people need to, you know, take advantage of, you know, especially if music is what they want to do beyond it being a hobby. But like going to that Sabrina challenge, man, you know what I'm saying? So tell us about that. Tell us about, you know, the goal for the challenge itself. You know, I know the reward that the artists get and the goal for them, but what is the goal for you with actually starting this challenge?
The goal is to continue to reach more people and, you know, share the music with them, you know, share the story and let them express themselves, you know, to see different interpretations. But it's amazing, you know, we had one guy do his, well, we can talk about our first winner, Talakai in the house. You know, what he did with it, you know, by making it, you know, more hip hop, more today's R&B,
more modern,
making it the lyric more cutting edge. You know, things that we wouldn't sing about in my days. You know, we wouldn't sing about. I won't even mention what it is, but it's not that bad. He's clean. But much. I mean, when we did Freakazoid, you can imagine how risque that was.
Right.
But I was careful to write every single lyric to not be, you know, crossing the line. We use double entendres, meaning that if you want to hear it that way, you can hear it that way. If you want to hear it that way, you can hear it that way. You know, because it's clean the way it sits. But anyway, to hear those different interpretations and to identify new talent. What's missing in so many songs is the hook. You know, everybody can do a beat, everybody can rap some bars, but where's the hook? And the hook is the one that locks the crowd in, you know, for centuries. You know, so with the Sabrina Challenge, they already have a hook, they already have a beat, they can fatten the beat. The beat didn't even need to be fattened with the version we used.
It's perfect the way it is.
Yeah, it was perfect the way it was. But if you wanted to you know, mash some stuff in there, you could definitely do that. But like I said, because a lot of people can make a beat, but can you make a song? So a song, the anatomy of a song, we would say is a strong groove. We call it a groove. Y'all call it a beat. So a strong groove beat and a killer hook, a killer concept, incredible lyrics, and an awesome melody. And a melody doesn't have to be all the 12 notes. You know, it can be one note, which a lot of hip hop is just on one note, or it could be you know, 3 or 4 notes. So it you know, do 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 do. That's 3 notes, right?
Right.
Mary had a little lamb, little lamb. So it doesn't take a lot of notes, but if I sung the melody for that song, do 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 do, you would know what it was,
right?
Without any words. That's what melody means. And when you put words to it, then it becomes alive. Do 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 do. You know what song that is, right?
Right.
What you don't know, it came from a classical song back in classical Baroque music. I got the wrong time, but you know, those melodies have been around for hundreds of years, some of them, and it's called eminent domain, meaning that it's passed a number of years and now it belongs to the world, as opposed to the writer who created it. So that's a way of saving music and keeping it alive.
Now let me ask you a question. Going into that eminent domain stuff, is because I know when you copyright something, it's copywritten for 100 years, right? Am I correct?
I should know the exact amount of years that is, but it's your life plus 75 to 100 years. We'll get the exact time on it, but once you die, then it's you know, close to 100 years after that it remains the property of your heirs, and then it goes into the domain belonging to the public.
Oh, okay. No, because I was just thinking, because I was interested in looking up, you know, songs that are, I guess, coming up for expiration when it comes to copywriting, and then, you know, taking ownership at that time, you know. But I was just wondering to see if you know, that was even possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with
there's a list of those songs that you can. I'm just breezing through here real quick to lock into my.
Find that website. Let me know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's trying to cheat me out of what I was looking up. Yeah, public domain is the proper term, meaning that belongs to the public. Somebody, they're trying to give me too many commercials rather than just answering my question. We'll get that all out.
That's all good. Are your children into music at all? Like, do they want to be musicians, or are they just like, I'm doing something else, Dad?
Well, I tell you, my youngest daughter, I tried to give her voice lessons and you know, get her into music. She was a dancer, ballerina dancer, and then she told me, she said, "Dad, I don't want to be a singer because singers are always gone too much." She meant like that. You always on the road and gone. She didn't want that kind of life. So that was interesting. It was very real. Then my oldest daughter, you know, she writes songs and she's got a talent, but she never pursued it. She went straight into the Air Force. She's now a master sergeant in the Air Force. And my grandson likes music, but not really pursuing it. My son, multi-talented as well. He does music, video editing, you know, art, design. He's the Renaissance kid. So not much a kid right now. He's just turned 27.
Right. Exactly. Congratulations, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. And you watching the Grammys this Sunday?
Yes, I'm gonna tune in. And give it a watch.
Yeah.
It should be a good year. I didn't put any songs in this year. This whole pandemic just threw me off. It's like, because I told myself I wasn't going to miss another year. It's another good thing to know if once you join NARAS, and then you can submit your own songs to be considered. It's a process, but it's possible. So back when Parking on the Dance Floor had outsold all groups that year, outsold Earth, Wind and Fire even. We weren't considered for a Grammy, and if I knew then what I know now, we would have been fighting for that position. And not only do you have to have yourself in consideration, but then you have to market it and search for your let people know that you're out there. Because if nobody knows in the voting arena, then they won't vote for you. They just vote for who they know.
Right. Yeah. I got you. How has the pandemic kind of affected your business? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I saw in the news today, California's going to be opening up a bit more, with the gyms and the theaters and restaurants and stuff like that. They're going to start open that back up here soon. But how did the pandemic affect your life as a whole,
From my life now is on two different sides, the business side of music and also the entertainment side. So on the business finance side, our company, Sound Royalty, we're like a private bank, but with much more flexibility. And what we specialize is making advances to artists that are receiving royalties. So that allowed us to really reach out and try to help a lot of artists. In the beginning of the pandemic, concert tours began to get canceled to a point where they were all canceled. And a lot of people that were depending on this income were now, before the different government assistance, were really stressed. And so we offered free, no-cost advances to many of our clients to help out in that period. And then we did special other pricing that made it, a lot appealable. But to be able to have a person receive income today from their future royalties is a powerful thing, because they can control their present lifestyle, or they can invest in their own business, reinvest in their own career, sign other artists, build out their studio, whatever they want to do with the money. So that part has been awesome. I'm based here in Los Angeles, so I was not able to meet with people in person, but we can still do the Zoom calls and the calls and be there with that financing and funding. So on the artistic side, once again, myself, I wasn't doing any concerts and not traveling and not taking that risk, but it allowed me to slow down and focus on new music, getting the music out there. Some of the old music, some of the brand new music. My brother and I released a song called Politics in 20 to assist with motivating people to get out and vote. And it did really well for us. 150 million people voted. We just take just a little bit, just give us just an inkling of attention there. So we call it our biggest record of all times.
Right.
But that was really powerful to do songs that mean something to your heart. It's not about the next hit record. It's about spreading messages and creating feelings and creating vibes and giving people a whole place to go. There's a lot of R&B music lovers that feel disenfranchised because they can't really hear the music. They can't hear the new music, or there's the internet has made it all accessible, but a lot of people aren't streaming. But by the end of the decade, 80 to 90% of the world will be streaming. So it's going to be a very lucrative business with streaming. So, you can put in Jonni Vegaz and hear all of his music all in one place. So not only do we want to create a place like that you can hear all of Reggie Calloway's music, but to be able to hear all of Breeze Styles music, meaning all of the smooth R&B music that you want to hear in one place, one community, where you can buy your hats and your glasses and your alligator shoes and whatever you want to do. Take your vacation. That's my ultimate goal is to build Breeze Style to the point where it's a community that serves the community.
Man, you're doing a great job, man, just by, interacting with people. Even with this challenge alone, I feel like it's getting the attention of the younger crowd, especially with the challenge. You know what I'm saying? The challenge itself, it's a young man's thing, you know what I'm saying? But when you bring in a old sound and making it fresh again, and now the fresh people are gravitating to it, it's just growing organically, man. And I'm loving watching it. You know what I'm saying? I'm loving that I'm a part of it. I just enjoying the ride, man. I think it's so awesome, man.
Oh man, I'm finding more and more outlets for it. When I just did a seminar with my alma mater, Kentucky State University, where I spoke to the music students and the faculty, and it just occurred to me as you were saying that, for those students to be a part of our music by participating in the challenge.
Right.
It's like collaborating with somebody they never would have had a chance to collaborate with.
Right.
That's powerful as heck, to put because this music may come out in other forms. Mm-hmm. And for me, when I was in college, I had the pleasure of actually performing with some greats, but one particular was Sonny Stitt, the heir apparent to John Coltrane and one of the number 3 greatest saxophone player of all time in the jazz era, but to perform with him and then to have him come to our university with the invitation for me and the school to do a seminar and to actually perform with our college jazz ensemble. It's that same kind of thing. It's like we're in the modern day, instead of you performing live with me, you're performing on this record and doing it your way. Nobody's even, like classical music, everything has to be a certain way, which was hard for me. But when you do it freely, you express yourself the way you want to express yourself and let it roll.
Right, as you should. Hell yeah. How's everything going with your health, man?
That's my uncle used to say, don't get old. But there's another one, growing old is not for weaklings.
Right.
So, no, it's cool. I'm just so happy to be. I won't tell my age, I might scare somebody, but when I look at, like I said, when I look at Eddie Levert and I look at even Lionel Richie and all the guys and Charlie Wilson, for instance, those are they're older than me, but they're in the same kind of era. And I look at Tony Bennett, being almost 100 years old. Did he turn 100 yet?
Something like that. I know he's still on that stage.
Still performing and still doing his thing. And that's the whole thing, is like, can you still do your thing? And it doesn't have to be at the level you did it with when you were, I would never do the choreography today that I did.
my pull a muscle.
Yeah, but just to be able to do your thing. And like one of my dear friends, Dave Parker, the Cobra, one of the greatest baseball players of all time. Dave used to say, Reggie, I'm envious of you, man, because you can sing and write songs all your life, but I can't play baseball, all my life as a pro. And so I'm really blessed to have chosen the right career, because I was going to play football, but I was too small, too slow, too injured. By the time I was ready for college, I was already beat up.
You would have got signed and got put right on the injury reserve.
Oh man, that'd be like, please put on reserve. Don't let them hit me no more. But,
that's awesome.
Real funny story is being in the Kentucky State University marching band. One year we got a chance to play at the halftime for the Cincinnati Bengals, which I'm from Cincinnati. So you're at there's the tunnel where the players come out. It's called the tunnel. So the marching band comes out at the same time, and we're lined up, getting ready for the halftime show, and they're coming off the field. and these giants walked by me.
Oh, my Lord.
With the cleats on, they are extra inch tall. I mean, I'm like, you mean I actually thought about playing football? What was I even thinking about? But then I saw Archie Griffin, he's about my height, and I was at Reggie Williams' wedding, and Reggie was a linebacker. He was huge, but I'm walking down the line of all the best men, guys from the team, and I say, Archie, I said, man, you mean I probably could have played, but Archie's thighs are the size of my waist. So he just built low to the ground.
Right.
And he run fast as lightning.
So it's safe to say sports wasn't for you.
Not long term.
Nah, I got you, man. Well, I definitely want to thank you for coming on my show today. I'm definitely glad that you've allowed me to help you with your new endeavors, man. I look forward to doing a lot of great things with you and just seeing you the rest of the way, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully, you helping me with my endeavors as well. Before we let you go, do you have any last words for, these up and coming artists, man, that are just seeking guidance and are running around misguided, just throwing stuff on the wall, seeing if it sticks creatively, and not uneducated. You know what I'm saying? Do you have any words of wisdom or words of guidance for them that they can kind of hold on to and, take as law?
Well, you definitely want to understand that it's a grind over time. You don't just grind for 6 months and say, oh, I didn't make it, I think I'm going to give it up. Or even a year. You have to, meditate on, this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm going to do. Just so you know, any business that you start, they always say there's a 3-year plan and a 5-year plan. So if in 3 years you're still in that business, you hope to break even, with 5 years. So in a career, that's just the minimum. So if you say, well, okay, I'm not going to, I'm not willing to put 5 years into this, then perhaps you may want to try a little something else. But in that amount of time, you can become very, very proficient. You can go from being average to being extremely well, in a 3 to 5 year time when you pace yourself and work yourself. But if you're going to be an artist, you want to do everything that artists are supposed to do. Take lessons, practice, study. The new thing is to learn the business. Learn the business side of what the rules are and where the money's flowing from. At Sound Royalties, we have a whole list of 50 income streams that you can find on our website, soundroyalties.com. Pull out those 50 income streams. Make sure you are lined up to start receiving all those, because we're in a micro penny business. We used to be in a penny business. Now we're in a micro penny business, meaning that you cannot let anything fall through the cracks, because that that $50 here, that $100 there might be the difference between your rent that week or getting kicked out. So collect all your money, know the rules, and don't give up. If you're on the business side, then spend all your time at seminars, webinars, read books, talk to people in the industry, network. You got to network to meet people. That job that you're looking for at that record company is going to come from somebody who met you a year ago or 2 years ago, or somebody you meet 2 years from now. All the dots, they all come together, and you never know where it's going to come from, but you want to be prepared. One thing I didn't tell my students at K-State was keep everything. Don't throw anything away, as my mother always said. You know what to throw away, just junk, throw it away, but keep a file cabinet of all your letters, all your contracts, everything that has to do with your business. And then keep track of your memorabilia, something that you don't even consider to be anything today could be very, very valuable tomorrow.
Right.
The first Freakazoid shirt, from being on tour, is now in the African American Museum in Nashville. Just because luckily, I held on to that one and didn't get away. But so many different things that will have value, that if not value to the world, it'll have value to you. So don't just move to the next house and just throw everything away. Keep those important things. keep them at your mother's house or whatever you got to do, because they will get lost if you don't.
Gotcha, man. Well, thank you for the words, man. Wisdom, man. Like I said, I look forward to growing business relationship with you as well as a good friendship, man. And thank you for doing my show today, man. And I wish you have a great rest of your day. This has been another episode of Sleep is for Billionaires, the podcast. Once again, I am your host, Jonni Vegaz. The great Reggie Calloway graced us with our presence today. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you get you some of this good old merchandise we got on our website. Stay tuned for more episodes to come. And thank you for watching. Reggie, I'll definitely talk to you in a little bit, my brother. I'll give you a call in a little bit, all right?
Yeah, you can reach me on all social media at Reggie Calloway, or drop by the website, ReggieCalloway.com, for any special emails or special information. Hear all the music all in one place. So we want to hear from you. Thanks,
right.
man.
Make sure you download that track, Sabrina. It's out right now, streaming on all platforms. Sabrina by Reggie Calloway.
All right.
All right, my brother. Talk to you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, all right? Thank you again.
Peace out.
All right. Bye.
I wanna be a billionaire. I ain't getting no sleep till I see $1 million every week. I wanna be a billionaire. I ain't getting no sleep till I see $1 billion every week. I wanna be a billionaire. Billionaire.